In this lesson, we're going to be looking at probability, our objectives. Understand what probability is, understand how to find probability. Our vocabulary: outcome, possible result. Probability, chance something will happen. There are two types of probability: experimental, so when we do an experiment with something and we kind of control what's going on, that's experimental. Or theoretical. Theoretical is what actually kind of happens, or based off the experiment, what we expect to happen. Event, set of desired outcomes. And trial, each collection of data. So every time we collect data, we are performing a trial. So here I'm going to look at just the basics of probability. What we're talking about here is types of squirrels. So I have 4 different types of squirrels: a black male, a gray male, a black female, and a gray female. And what happened is a group caught and checked a bunch of squirrels that they saw, and these were the numbers they got. So 820 were black males, 380 were gray males, 100 black females, and 170 gray females, giving us a total of 1,470 total squirrels that they saw. So what we want to do is we want to look at the probability of each one of these within the concept, or within this trial. So for black males, what we do is, for the fraction, we take how many there are and divide by the total. So probability is the outcome divided by the total. Okay, so there are fractions. With the fractions, we can reduce the fractions if possible, but you don't have to within probability. When you're working with easy numbers to reduce, it's common to reduce them, but these are a little bit tougher numbers to reduce, so I just leave them the way they are. Then we have the decimal. All we have to do to get the decimal is actually divide, and we'll probably be rounding all of these, so let's go to the hundredths place. 820 divided by 1470. So I'm going to go 0.56. It's really 0.557, and then it goes on forever. So this one we're going to go 0.26 as it rounds up. And we've got 0.07. And 0.11. Now this is actually 0.115. I rounded down because the other 3 all rounded up, and what we need is we need them to add up to 1. So sometimes when you're rounding, you might have to round down what you might usually round up. So 0.5s, a lot of times we'll round down sometimes also. And all of these should add up to 1 for it to work. Then with probability, what we do is we take all our decimals times 100. So to get the percent, you just take the decimal that you got and times it by 100. So here we have our data with all our fractions, decimals, and percents. With this data, we can also figure out some other probabilities. So sometimes with probability, we'll write out probability and then we put the outcome in parentheses and then equals, and we create our fraction and everything. So what I have here is probability of a black male. Well, that's 820 over 1470, which we already figured out was about 0.56. I'm just going to stop with the decimal right now. Then we can also do some other variations. So probability of a female. Well, there were two types of female. There were gray and black females. So we need to look at both of them. So what I have here is the black were 100, the gray were 170. So this is 270 over 1470, and we can turn that into a decimal. That is about 0.18. Then I can ask, what's the probability that we would find a red squirrel? Well, we didn't look at any red squirrels. We didn't find any, so that's 0. So this one ends up being the decimal 0. And that can happen sometimes. And our last one is probability of a gray male or a black female. Anytime you see the word or, that means that we're going to add the two together. So we've got 380 is gray male, 100 is black female. So we add them together. And then divide. And that's about 0.33. Alright, in this lesson we've looked at probability and how to find it. If there's any part of this that you didn't quite get, make sure you pause, rewind, and rewatch, and bring your questions to class. Thank you.